Negative thinking. It's something we've all wrestled with. Those quiet, creeping doubts. The relentless replay of past mistakes. The voice in your mind that questions, criticizes, and never seems to rest at first. It might feel harmless, just a passing moment of frustration or self-doubt. But slowly, it settles in. It becomes a pattern, a habit, and if left unchecked, it begins to shape not only how you see yourself, but how you see everything around you. It's like an unwelcome guest that overstays its welcome, draining your energy, stealing your focus, and dimming your sense of possibility. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you that you have far more control over your thoughts than you think? That you could step out of this cycle and take back your mind? That's exactly what we're exploring today, through the timeless lens of Stoic philosophy and the profound wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. This isn't about slapping a smile on your face and pretending everything's fine. And it's not about ignoring your pain, either. It's about understanding your thoughts, learning how they work, and building a mindset that empowers you, rather than one that holds you hostage. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This idea sits at the very heart of Stoicism. We may not be able to control what happens around us, but we can always control how we respond. Our freedom begins where our perception begins. In this episode, we'll explore practical strategies to break the grip of negative thinking. We'll uncover how to shift your perspective, how to reframe challenges, and how to build habits that nurture resilience and inner clarity. These aren't lofty theories. They're tools you can apply today to begin transforming your mindset and reclaiming your peace of mind. So, if you've ever felt weighed down by doubt, trapped in cycles of fear, or overwhelmed by mental noise, stay with me. This isn't just another message about thinking positively. This is about taking back control. It's about aligning your thoughts with your values. And ultimately, it's about becoming the clearest, calmest, and most powerful version of yourself. Let's begin this journey together, toward clarity, strength, and true mental freedom. Lesson 1. The power of controlling your perceptions. Negative thinking often takes root in how we perceive the world, not in the world itself. It's not the external events that disturb us most, but our internal interpretation of them. This misunderstanding sits at the core of why so many people feel frustrated, overwhelmed, or stuck when something unexpected happens. Maybe you receive criticism or hit a sudden setback. Your mind can quickly create a negative story around it. That story becomes the real source of distress. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In simpler terms, it's not what happens to you, it's how you think about what happens. Your perception is the lens through which you see life. And if that lens is tinted with negativity, even small issues can feel like insurmountable problems. For example, imagine a coworker criticizes your work. Your first instinct might be to think, "I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed." But pause. Ask yourself, is that really the truth? Or just your interpretation? What if you flipped the script? What if you thought, "This is useful feedback, it's an opportunity to grow"? The event doesn't change, but your response does. And with it, so does your emotional experience. The danger of distorted perceptions is that they become automatic. Over time, they shape your identity, your relationships, your outlook, and before long, you find yourself stuck in a mental loop that's not just unhelpful. It's deeply limiting. So, how do you take back control? It begins with awareness. Pay close attention to the thoughts that arise in moments of stress, failure, or challenge. Ask yourself, Is this thought helping me or harming me? Often, the pain comes not from the situation, but from the interpretation we've attached to it. The next step is to challenge those interpretations. When you catch yourself slipping into a negative spiral, pause. Ask, is there another way to see this? One that uplifts me, instead of pulling me down? Even a subtle shift in perspective can unlock a wave of clarity and relief. Finally, practice reframing. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, redirect your attention to what's possible. Let's say you're stuck in traffic. Rather than simmering in frustration, could you see it as a chance to breathe, reset, or listen to something uplifting? Reframing isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing a mindset that supports you instead of sabotaging you. Because while you may not control the world, you always control your response. So the next time you're hit with a frustrating situation, try this. Pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this isn't about the event. It's about how I choose to perceive it. That simple awareness might just be your first step to freedom. And speaking of deeper awareness, in the next lesson, we'll explore the hidden roots of negative thinking, where they come from, why they persist, and how you can begin to untangle them from your everyday life. Lesson 2. Unraveling the roots of negative thinking. Negative thinking often grows from old, unresolved roots. It doesn't just appear, it develops over time, often as a defense mechanism. Maybe you were criticized, rejected, or failed in the past. Your mind, trying to protect you, began anticipating the worst to avoid pain. At first, this might seem like a helpful strategy, but in truth, it holds you back. It keeps you stuck in fear, prevents growth, and clouds your vision. Marcus Aurelius warned us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are soaked in fear, doubt, or self-judgment, your entire worldview begins to reflect those shades. Let's make this practical. Say you're preparing for a presentation, and suddenly that voice whispers, "You're going to mess up. Everyone will judge you." That thought likely isn't about this moment. It's rooted in a past experience that hurt, and your mind is trying to protect you by expecting the worst. But here's the truth. Your past does not have to define your present. To unravel these negative thought patterns, start with awareness. Notice when a harsh thought shows up and trace it back. Where did this come from? Is it a fact, or just an old fear replaying itself? Next, challenge it. If you think, "I always fail," ask yourself, "Always? Is there evidence?" Remind yourself of times when you succeeded, even when afraid. Then, reframe the narrative. Don't force fake positivity. Instead, replace "I'll never be good at this" with "I'm learning." And every step forward matters. This is about truth, not perfection. Think of this process like decluttering a closet. At first, it's messy. You're holding on to stories you've repeated for years. But as you sort through them, you begin to feel lighter, mentally and emotionally. These negative patterns aren't permanent. They're habits, and habits can be changed. So next time that familiar voice of doubt creeps in, pause and say, "This isn't who I am. It's just a pattern, and I'm ready to let it go." With that awareness, you've already taken your first step toward freedom. And now, with the roots exposed, let's move forward. In the next lesson, you'll learn how to renew your mind, not just by removing the old, but by actively planting new, empowering beliefs that support the life you want to build. Lesson 3. Renewing your mind. Now that you've identified the roots of your negative thoughts, it's time to take the next step, replacing them. Because even when old patterns lose their grip, something stronger needs to take their place. This is what the Stoics would call renewing the mind. Over time, your mind becomes used to certain thought loops. Doubts, fears, and self-criticism can become so familiar, you stop questioning them. They feel like truth. even when they're not. But here's the empowering truth. Just as your brain learned these patterns, it can unlearn them and create new ones. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. That includes the thoughts you allow to take root, and the ones you choose to let go. Start by becoming aware. Throughout the day, observe your internal dialogue. If you make a mistake, do you immediately think, "I'm a failure," or "I always screw things up"? Catch those automatic thoughts. That's the first key. Next, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this actually true, or am I jumping to conclusions? You'll often find that your harshest thoughts are based more on fear than fact. Now comes the most important part. Replace them. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try, "I'm learning, and every effort counts." Reframing isn't about lying to yourself. It's about choosing thoughts that are realistic, compassionate, and growth-focused. Let's say you face rejection, a job, a project, a relationship. Instead of spiraling into "I'm not good enough," try, "This is tough, but I'm gaining clarity for what comes next." Same event, different mindset, one that heals instead of harms. One powerful technique, gratitude. Just a few minutes a day, writing down 3 small things you're thankful for, can shift your mental focus from lack to abundance. Think of your mind like a window. Over time, it collects dust, old fears, limiting beliefs, past hurts. But when you clean it, even just a little, you begin to see life with fresh clarity. You begin to see yourself differently. You don't need to change every thought at once. Just start with one, then another. With each shift, you take back your mind, one thought at a time. And when your inner world becomes clearer and kinder, your outer world begins to reflect that change. So, how do you strengthen this clarity? You begin with your environment. In the next lesson, we'll explore how the people, spaces, and content around you silently shape your thoughts, and how to build an environment that truly supports your growth. Lesson 4. Surrounding yourself with positivity. Your surroundings, both physical and social, play a major role in shaping your mindset. Think about it. When you're around uplifting people or in a calm, organized space, you naturally feel more centered and motivated. But when you're constantly exposed to negativity, whether it's harsh criticism, draining relationships, or chaotic environments, it becomes much harder to keep a healthy state of mind. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And while your mindset is yours to manage, your environment can either support or sabotage your efforts. Positivity is contagious, but so is negativity. That's why it's essential to be intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Start by evaluating the people around you. Do they uplift, encourage, and inspire you? Or do they often criticize, discourage, or leave you feeling drained? This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life completely, but it does mean prioritizing those who push you to grow, who celebrate your progress, and who help you see the good in yourself, even when you can't. And your physical space matters too. A cluttered room can lead to a cluttered mind. On the other hand, a clean, simple space can promote clarity and calm. Small changes, like organizing your desk, adding a plant, or setting boundaries with your digital time, can have a big impact. What you consume is also part of your environment. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the social media you scroll through, all of these affect your inner world. Choose content that educates, inspires, and aligns with the mindset you're trying to build. For example, if social media is making you feel inadequate, consider unfollowing accounts that trigger comparison, and follow those that spark positivity or support your personal growth. Over time, even this one habit can shift how you feel every time you pick up your phone. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't control every storm, but you can choose the seeds, the soil, and how much care you give. By cultivating a positive environment, you're creating a foundation for mental strength, so you can thrive, even in difficult times. So next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and ask, is my environment supporting my growth, or holding me back? Then take one small step to shift it in a better direction. Lesson 5. Taking Stoic Action. One reason negativity lingers so powerfully is because we stay still. We get stuck in our thoughts. But when you take purposeful action, even a small one, you interrupt the cycle and start moving forward. Marcus Aurelius said it best. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. V1. In Stoicism, peace of mind doesn't come from endless thinking. It comes from acting in line with your values. That means focusing on what's in your control, not what's outside of it. Worried about an outcome? Instead of obsessing over the result, shift your focus to preparation. Take the next useful step. Action moves you from passive overthinking to empowered progress. And it builds momentum. Imagine staring up at a steep hill. The longer you hesitate, the harder it seems, but once you take the first step, no matter how small, the climb becomes easier. Let's say you're procrastinating on a task because you fear it won't be perfect. Instead of waiting for inspiration, write one sentence, sketch a rough outline, set a timer for 10 minutes. Small actions silence the voice that says, "You're not ready." And remember, actions aligned with your values are especially powerful. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? If it's kindness, act with compassion. If it's growth, challenge yourself. When your actions reflect your deeper purpose, negativity loses its grip, and confidence begins to grow. Taking action won't make every problem disappear, but it will shift your focus from fear to movement. And sometimes, one step is all it takes to break free from the fog. In the next lesson, we'll dive deeper into the power of language, and how the words you use, both with yourself and others, can shape your reality. Think of action like lighting a candle in a dark room. The darkness may not vanish completely, but now you can see where to go. Each small move adds more light. Each step weakens the grip of fear. So, the next time you feel consumed by negativity, don't stay still. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do right now to move forward? It could be sending a quick email, taking a short walk, or simply getting out of bed. Every action, no matter how minor, builds momentum, because in the end, it's not your thoughts that define your life. It's your actions. Lesson 6. The power of words. Now, let's shift from actions to something just as impactful. Your words. The language you use, both in your thoughts and your conversations, shapes your experience more than you might realize. When your inner dialogue is filled with negative words, it reinforces fear, doubt, and frustration. But when you choose your words carefully, they become tools for strength and clarity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the things you think about determine the quality of your mind, but it's not just what you think, it's how you speak those thoughts to yourself and to the world. Start with your inner dialogue. Have you ever noticed how quick you are to say, "I'm terrible at this," or "I'll never get it right" when something goes wrong? These phrases may seem harmless, but over time, they quietly build a wall of self-doubt. Now try shifting the language. "I'm learning," or "mistakes are part of progress." That small change opens the door to growth instead of shutting it with blame. And what about how you speak to others? Complaining, gossiping, or repeating negative stories doesn't just weigh you down. It affects everyone around you. On the flip side, using language rooted in gratitude, optimism, or even simple encouragement lifts your energy and deepens your connections. For example, rather than saying, "I'm overwhelmed and won't finish this," say, "This is challenging, but I'm making progress. The facts stay the same, but the mindset changes. Here's a simple but powerful shift. Try using affirmations. These are intentional phrases like I am capable, or I'm doing my best and growing every day. At first, they may feel unfamiliar, but with time, they begin to reshape your self-image. Gratitude journaling is another way to retrain your inner voice. Each night, write down 3 things, big or small, that you're thankful for. It could be a kind message, a peaceful walk, or your morning coffee. These small recognitions gradually rewire your mind to see the good more often. Your words are like seeds. Every phrase you speak, internally or aloud, plants something. Will it be weeds of doubt, or flowers of confidence? The next time a harsh phrase crosses your lips or your thoughts, pause and ask, are these words helping or hurting me? Then choose again. Choose language that reflects the strength and clarity you're building. Because when you speak with intention, you don't just change your mood, you reshape your world. And now, let's take this even further. In the next lesson, we'll look at one of Stoicism's greatest teachings, how to build lasting emotional resilience in a world that never stops changing. In the previous lesson, we saw how your words shape your reality. Now, we turn to another powerful inner tool, gratitude, a simple shift in perspective that can radically transform how you experience difficulty. Lesson 8. Practicing gratitude in difficult moments. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late, frustration builds, but then, you pause and shift your focus. Maybe you're grateful for the safety of your car, or for the chance to catch up on a favorite podcast. The traffic doesn't change, but your emotional state does. Gratitude doesn't deny frustration, it reframes it. When life throws you a setback, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Is there something to appreciate, even if it's just the resilience you're building by enduring it? Gratitude is like a soft light in a dark room. It won't erase the darkness, but it helps you see clearly enough to move forward. The more you practice it, the brighter that light becomes, guiding you through challenges with calm and clarity. So the next time you catch your thoughts spiraling, pause. Ask, what can I be grateful for right now? Even in pain, there's always something, however small, to hold on to. Gratitude is not just a feel-good emotion. It's a practice, a habit, a conscious choice to focus on what's working, rather than what's lacking. And over time, it rewires your mind to become more resilient, more grounded, and more open to joy. Lesson 9. Embracing impermanence. Much of our negativity comes from trying to hold on to comfort, routine, relationships, or a version of life we wish would never change. But the Stoics remind us, everything is temporary. Marcus Aurelius wrote, all things pass away. We may not control change, but we do control how we meet it. Accepting impermanence isn't about giving up. It's about letting go of resistance. It's about flowing with life, rather than fighting against it. Think about how often we get trapped in the past, longing for how things used to be, or we fear the future, clinging to what we might lose. This attachment only feeds anxiety. But when we embrace the truth, that life constantly evolves, we find peace. Picture a blooming flower. It's beautiful, precisely because it won't last. Life is the same. Its value comes from its transience. Let's say you've had a falling out with a friend. The pain feels permanent, but nothing stays the same. Feelings shift, people grow, healing becomes possible with time, whether through reconnection or moving forward. By embracing impermanence, you free yourself to fully appreciate the present moment. You stop fearing loss, and instead cherish what's here, now. This mindset also helps you release perfectionism. When you realize that no success or failure is final, you stop fearing mistakes. You gain the freedom to try again and again. Think of impermanence like a river. The water flows endlessly, always changing. You can't hold on to it, but you can learn to float, to adapt, to appreciate the journey as it moves. So the next time you're stuck in regret or fear, pause and remind yourself, this too shall pass. In that truth lies great freedom. And now, as we prepare to close this journey, let's explore one final, powerful idea, the foundation of a meaningful life, building a clear sense of purpose. In the last lesson, we explored impermanence and how accepting life's changes can bring us peace. Now we arrive at the heart of it all, the anchor that holds steady through uncertainty. Purpose. Lesson 10. Building a purpose-driven life. When you lack direction, it's easy to feel lost. Challenges feel heavier. Motivation slips. But when you live with a clear sense of purpose, everything changes. Purpose acts like a compass. It guides your choices, grounds your thoughts, and gives your life meaning. Marcus Aurelius once said, "People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse are wasting their time, even when hard at work." It's a powerful reminder. Busyness isn't the same as fulfillment. Purpose isn't about chasing success or achievements. It's about aligning your actions with what matters most to you. So how do you begin? Start by asking simple but powerful questions. What makes me feel truly fulfilled? What kind of impact do I want to have on others or the world? What values do I want to live by every day? Your purpose doesn't need to be grand. It could be being a present parent, sharing your creativity, supporting others, or simply growing a little every day. What matters is that it feels real, that it resonates deeply with you. Living with purpose doesn't eliminate obstacles. It transforms how you face them. Let's say you're pursuing a long-term goal, building a business, improving your health, or learning a new skill. Doubts will come. Setbacks are inevitable. But if your purpose is clear, whether it's providing for your family, becoming your best self, or making a difference, you'll have the strength to keep moving forward. Purpose also simplifies your life. It helps you focus on what matters and ignore what doesn't. If your purpose is growth, you'll spend less time on distractions and more time learning, reflecting, and creating. If it's connection, you'll choose people and experiences that deepen your relationships. One of the most powerful shifts that purpose brings is how you deal with negativity. Challenges become stepping stones. Failures become lessons. You stop getting derailed by every misstep because your focus is on the bigger picture. Picture purpose like a lighthouse. When life's storms roll in and everything feels uncertain, that light cuts through the fog. It reminds you where you're going and why you started in the first place. To begin living with purpose, you don't need to have it all figured out. Just start small, reflect on your values, set meaningful goals, align your daily actions with your deeper vision. Purpose isn't a fixed destination. It evolves with you, and that's what makes it so powerful. So next time you feel overwhelmed or disconnected, pause and ask, what truly matters to me? Then take one step, no matter how small, toward aligning your life with that truth. Because when you live with purpose, you don't just silence negativity, you rise above it. Final reflections. What we've explored today is simple, but not easy. Negative thinking doesn't have to define you. It's not who you are. It's a pattern, and patterns can be broken. By learning to shift your perception, understand your thought habits, and practice resilience through gratitude, action, and purpose, you take back control of your mind and your life. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength is already within you. These lessons aren't just philosophical ideas. They're practical tools. You can start applying them today. So, I invite you to reflect. What resonated with you most in this episode? What small step can you take today to shift your mindset? Maybe it's pausing to reframe a negative thought. Maybe it's writing down what you're grateful for. Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't align with your values. Whatever it is, start there, because every step counts. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. If this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could benefit. Let's spread the power of resilience and help others break free from the weight of negativity. And if you've made it this far, I'd love to hear from you. What lesson are you walking away with today? Drop it in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And remember, you already have the power to change your thoughts and your life. Until next time, stay mindful, stay intentional, and above all, stay committed to building the best version of yourself.